Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you a preview for the Bournemouth versus Arsenal game in the FA Cup 4th round tomorrow night, 8 o'clock kickoff at the Vitality Stadium. Also going to be giving you an update on a bit of Arsenal's transfer news, because I haven't updated you about Arsenal Football Club recently. So we'll get on with the match preview first. So this is Arsenal's first ever meeting against Bournemouth in the FA Cup, and their 12th meeting overall between the two sides. Of course, the FA Cup is a priority for Arsenal. You know, from an Arsenal perspective, you know, they'd like to get another FA Cup on the board. Arsenal are the most successful team in FA Cup history because, of course, they are on 13 FA Cups. And obviously, you know, the previous meeting between Arsenal and Bournemouth was 1-1, and that was in the league. And I think that was Mikel Arteta's first game as Arsenal manager. Arsenal did progress past the third round against Leeds. You know, they beaten them by 1-0. Reiss Nelson had scored the only goal of the game. But, you know, you've got to say, you saw match reaction to that game. Obviously, you know, Leeds totally dominated the first half, you know, created good chances, you know, passed the ball well, the composure was good, but Leeds just didn't have that clinical element. But I thought in the second half, Arsenal did come out a different team. As for Bournemouth, you know, they progressed past Luton in the third round by comfortably winning by 4-0. But I am going to predict an Arsenal win, because I think Arsenal are a very, very good FA Cup team. And as for Bournemouth, you know, they've only progressed past the FA Cup 4th round once since 1989. Of course, in terms of the league, Arsenal are really struggling. They are sitting 10th in the Premier League. Arsenal, you know, they've registered 30 points from 24 Premier League games so far, and I think that's their lowest tally since 1975-1976 season. So they are enduring a bad season, are Arsenal. Also too though are Bournemouth. You know, Bournemouth are now, I think, in the relegation zone, sitting 18th. And, you know, is there a possible chance that Bournemouth, you know, could end Eddie Howe's managerial tenure and that? Because with Eddie Howe, you know, he's spent the vast majority of his managerial tenure with Bournemouth, managerial career. Also, he spent the majority of his playing career with Bournemouth. I think he also had a spell with Burnley as manager, you know, did Eddie Howe. I think as a player, he had a spell at Portsmouth and Swindon. But reverting back to what I said, he spent the entirety of his managerial career with Bournemouth as Eddie Howe, basically, in that. Also, you know, Bournemouth have got a hell of a lot of injuries I want to update you on. You know, they've got Charlie Daniels out for the season. They've also got Joshua King out. They've got Junior Stanislas out. They've got Jack Stacey out. David Brooke, you know, Chris Mepham. So Bournemouth have got a lot of injuries. But I think they've got some pretty decent players in the team. You know, they've got likes of that Ryan Fraser. You know, they've got Callum Wilson of Bournemouth. You know, they've got that Nathan Ike, who's a very good centre-half for them. So they have got some pretty decent players of Bournemouth and that. But reverting back to what I said, you know, I think, you know, Arsenal are going to comfortably win this against Bournemouth, definitely in that. So Arsenal themselves have also got some injuries I want to update you on. You know, they've got obviously, you know, Kieran Tierney out, I think, until is it March. You know, Arsenal, of course, got him last summer from Celtic for around £25 million. Of course, they have got Callum Chambers out. I think Callum Chambers has got a long-term injury for Arsenal. You know, they've also got Reiss Nelson out. You know, he's just recently sustained an injury as Reiss Nelson. And they have got Klasnic out. I also believe Rob Holding is still... Well, he has been injured. I don't know if he's still injured, but I don't think he's fully fit as yet. You know, Arsenal, of course, have also had Hector Bellerin out not too long ago with injury. You know, they had Daniel Ceballos out, who, of course, they got on loan from Real Madrid. So Arsenal have had quite a few injuries this season themselves. So we'll give you the news now regarding some Arsenal transfer news. So Arsenal, by the way, are close to making their first signing of the January transfer window, and their first signing overall under Mikel Arteta, of course. And his name is Pablo Marie Villa. Now, he's currently a centre-back for Flemengo. And obviously, Arsenal have got a lot of element of concerns about, that centre defensive area. Of course, they are in search for a centre half because obviously, they've got David Luiz. He's currently suspended now. I think he got sent off in Arsenal's 2-2 draw against Chelsea, which was their last league game. So David Luiz now is suspended. Like I said, Rob Holding's still not fully fit. They've got Callum Chambers and that out. Obviously, Mustafi, and that's not too good for them. So obviously, they are in search for centre half. So yeah, they are going to get this player on the board, Pablo Marie Villa. I think yesterday he was spotted at the airport with Edu, who's Arsenal's technical director, and he's already been in London and he's set to undergo medical. I think Arsenal are reportedly set to get him on loan according to Sky Sports. With an option to make the deal permanent at the end of the season. So there's no obligation to buy, but Arsenal have the option to make the deal permanent at the end of the season. And I think it will cost Arsenal around £7 million for him. I don't really know much about this player, to be quite honest with you. I think he's in his mid-20s. I think he's like 26 years of age, so he's still in his prime. I think Flamengo did get him last summer. They only paid around, was it £1 million for him? He's a former Manchester City player. He did serve 3 years at Manchester City, but never made one appearance for Manchester City in that 3 years he was there. I think he also had quite a few loan spells, did Pablo Marie Villa. So yeah, so he's going to be Arsenal's first sign. So I do expect it to be officially announced sometime this weekend. But Arsenal, will be delighted with that. Do you think he will address their defensive deficiencies? Because Arsenal have got problems defensively. I think earlier on in the window, Arsenal, inquired about the availability of John Stones from Manchester City. Now, John Stones doesn't really get in the Manchester City team. Obviously, he's served his 2 requirements now because obviously, Pep Guardiola's preferences, Otamendi and Fernandinho ahead of John Stones. And obviously, they're not even a predominantly centre half, so Otamendi and Fernandinho, but, they still get there ahead of John Stones. Obviously, Laporte's still out with injury. I don't think he's due back from injury until February. So when he gets back in the team, obviously John Stones is going to initially lose his place in the team. Well, he has lost his place in the team, but, it says Arsenal winning for him earlier on in this January transfer window. They've also been in for other players, they're obviously, in for Thomas Lemar. He's currently now at Atletico Madrid, is Thomas Lemar. They did actually, get him from Monaco, and Arsenal have inquired about getting Thomas Lemar in the past, don't forget. But, I think, Mikel Arteta, he needs to be given time as Arsenal manager. Of course, it is a transition period for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta is their third manager of this current campaign. Obviously, before they got Arteta in, they had Freddie Ljungberg in on a temporary basis. Obviously, before that, they had Unai Emery. Unai Emery, of course, got sacked from Arsenal after he enjoyed an 18-month tenure with them. But obviously, he wasn't the right manager for Arsenal. But I know Mikel Arteta's got no managerial experience. Obviously, he's got is it a 3.5-year deal now with Arsenal, to try and turn things around with them. He did sign a 3.5-year deal. I think it was a 3.5-year deal. Before I went to Arsenal, obviously, he was a coaching assistant at Man City, was Mikel Arteta. And obviously, he worked alongside Pep Guardiola. So, maybe he's obviously, maybe he's hopeful now that he can follow, Pep Guardiola's philosophy and obviously, bring that to Arsenal, basically. So maybe he has, learned some tips off Pep Guardiola. Don't get me wrong, I thought Arteta was a great player for Arsenal. I think he had enjoyed around 5 or 6 years with Arsenal as a player. I think made a total of 150 appearances. Don't forget he was at Everton, was Mikel Arteta for quite a few years. I think he was at Everton good 5 years, wasn't he, Mikel Arteta, if I'm right, or 6 years. He also played for Rangers and Real Sociedad, during his playing career. So he was actually a very, very good player. So he does know the culture of Arsenal Football Club and that. But of course, they've got to give him more time at Arsenal. Obviously, he's in the process of rebuilding this Arsenal team. Obviously, when they do confirm the signing of Pablo Marie Villa, that will obviously, be the only player that he's got. Obviously, taking into account Mikel Arteta now he's inheriting, some of Unai Emery's players who Unai Emery brought in. He's still inheriting players, from when Arsene Wenger was there, because Arsene Wenger, did enjoy 22 years with Arsenal, and he had a pretty decent legacy. I thought he enjoyed a good 12, 13 years at Arsenal, but I think after that, it just went all downhill, basically. And I think that was one of the mistakes Arsenal did make, was getting rid of Wenger too late. They should have got rid of him at an earlier point. So you got to say, Wenger, did leave a lot of deadwood behind at Arsenal, definitely. I think Arsenal have got rid of a couple of players, haven't they, if I'm right? Maybe they will consider getting rid of more players. Maybe not in this January transfer window, but maybe in the summer and that, because, they got David Luiz, didn't they? He's a centre-half, they got him for £8 million, so Arsenal just said, look, it's not the centre-half, we really wanted, but obviously, we saw it as a cheap solution, it only cost £8 million, and he's done well in a couple of games under Mikel Arteta, but like I said, he won't be playing against Bournemouth because he's currently suspended, so yeah, so they're going to get their first signing name on the board. Kieran Tierney's obviously sustained a few injuries as an Arsenal player. I've got to say, I think Nicolas Pepe has done really, really well for them. I do believe is he Arsenal's most expensive sign at the moment, if I'm right? Arsenal, of course, paid £70 million for Nicolas Pepe. He enjoyed a difficult start to his time with Arsenal, but I think recently he has really rejuvenated himself. Very, very good playing. He was also good at Lille, so I think at Arsenal he's replicating what he did with Lille. I think he did sign a 5-year contract when he signed for Arsenal. Obviously, I think William Saliba, they did get him. I think they got William Saliba, if I'm right. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. I think they did get him, but it got agreed that he was going to be loaned back to Saint Etienne for the remainder of this season. Then I think he's gonna go to Arsenal in the new season, if I'm right. So Arsenal's obviously recruitment anywhere has got to improve. But like I said, Edu is Arsenal's technical director, obviously, and he's played an instrumental role in the negotiation process, of course, over bringing this, new player into Arsenal under Mikel Arteta and that. So that should be officially announced this weekend. Should be. And, but like I said, Arsenal have got some pretty decent players in their team. They have got some good players with Arsenal, to be fair. They've got the likes of Lacazette, who plays well, Aubameyang. When they play together, I think they're a fantastic partnership. They've still got Ozil there. Ozil hasn't done so bad, since Mikel Arteta went there. Obviously there's been speculation about Ozil leaving in the past and that. Maybe that was another mistake Arsenal made. Maybe, they should have got rid of Ozil instead of getting rid of Alexis Sanchez. Because I thought, Sanchez enjoyed a good time with Arsenal. He enjoyed, 3.5, 4 years at Arsenal. Did really, really well for them. Could score goals, created chances. He's very, very versatile. I think he's predominantly a winger, isn't he? Sanchez, you can play him through the middle and that. But very, very good. He was a good player at Arsenal. Obviously, he was demanding a pay rise from Arsenal, but Arsenal wouldn't give him it, basically. Arsenal couldn't afford to pay the wages he was demanding, so he actually, joined us from Arsenal and obviously, enjoyed a difficult 18 months with us. Obviously, he was on 500 grand a week with us. Now, obviously, it is at Inter Milan, but I still believe that he's on loan with Inter Milan. We're still paying the vast majority of his wages. But Sanchez is a good player. Prior to the time he was with us, he did well at Arsenal. He also did well with Barcelona when he was younger under Pep Guardiola's guidance. Did Alexis Sanchez. So yeah, very, very good player in that. So maybe the Arsenal will say, they should have kept Sanchez and obviously, got rid of Ozil. But, Ozil, has done well recently, like I've said. So, I think, how old is he now? Is he 32, 33 years of age? Arsenal have got Xhaka. He had some problems, didn't he, early on in the season, I think, with something to do with the captaincy. But, can play well for Arsenal, definitely. They've got that Guendouzi in there. And that. So they have got some pretty decent players. By the way, Patrick-Emerick Aubameyang, Aubameyang won't be playing for Arsenal tomorrow night. He's suspended. I can't remember what he got suspended over, but I think he's got one match to go until his suspension's done. I think he's already missed Arsenal's last 2 games with suspension as Aubameyang. So probably Gabriel Martinelli will be in line to play for Arsenal tomorrow. So he will fulfill Aubameyang's position. Like I said, David Luiz is suspended, so probably maybe Socrates may come in for David Luiz tomorrow due to his suspension. I think Socrates has also been out with illness recently. Just wanted to take that into account and that. So yeah, so I think Arsenal are going to win this game tomorrow night. So that's everything to update you today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.